If you're like me and you love buying new makeup, but you also realize you have to buy food, this video is for you. If you're looking for some new eyeshadow palettes to spice up your everyday makeup routine and you don't want to spend an arm and a leg, this is the video for you. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys the best affordable neutral eyeshadow palettes so you can pick them up at the drugstore. They don't cost more than 15-20 bucks and they're going to be really great quality that you can easily incorporate into your everyday makeup just to elevate your look for 2024. I cannot believe it's 2024. Time flies. These eyeshadow palettes are not just good for the price, they're just good. I reach for these eyeshadow palettes over some of my more expensive eyeshadow palettes. That's how much I love them. And I picked neutral eyeshadow palettes because I feel like they're the most universal. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and let's go ahead and get started. Starting off with the palette I'm wearing today, this is the Clean Color palette from Covergirl. It is a 4-pan eyeshadow palette, so really easy to just throw in your makeup bag. It's not going to take up too much space, and it's not going to overwhelm you. There's not a huge variety of colors that you can dip into. It's basically just super straightforward. The mattes in this palette are so pigmented, so velvety, so smooth, really easy to build up and really easy to blend out. I love how pigmented they are because it makes doing your eyeshadow really quick. Some more affordable eyeshadow palettes can be more sheer and buildable, which is not a bad thing if you're a beginner and you are afraid of pigment. But if you're a little bit more experienced or you just don't have a lot of time to spend building up eyeshadows, mattes like this are great because you can just dip in once and you're gonna get a big amount of payoff, but you don't have to worry about it being stuck in one spot. It blends really easily. I also love the tones in this palette in particular. They have other shades available. I personally have not tried those shades, but this one in Golden Toffee is so gorgeous. It's like the most perfect toasty neutral brown color story. This brown right here is the perfect mid-tone neutral brown. A lot of times browns can lean more warm or orangey when you blend them out, which is not always what I personally look for. This one retains its neutrality as you blend, which I really appreciate. So it can kind of go with warm outfits, cool outfits, whatever direction you want to go in with your tonality for the day. This is really versatile. So I love this color. This is what I built up on the outer corner. So you can see you can get a good amount of depth with it, but you can also sheer it out to get more of a sheer transition shade if that's what you're looking for as well. This deep brown is the most perfect deep chocolatey brown. It does have little micro like glitters in it, but once you start applying that to the eye, they sort of disappear. And these two shimmers are gorgeous. This is the shade I have all over my lid today. This one is a bit more flaky, so I would recommend spraying your brush or doing your eyeshadow first or just being really careful. I got a little bit of fallout, but I just dusted it away and it's really easy to clean up. But I love this bronzy, goldish, glittery shimmer shade. It's so gorgeous. It reminds me of something high-end and it's just like the most perfect one and done shade that makes it look like you tried a lot harder than you did. This one is a different formula. It's a little bit smoother. So if you don't want something as shimmery, this is the one to go in with. I use this on the inner corner and it just helps to brighten up. So I love this little palette. Definitely check it out if you want something a little bit more sultry and smoky, but that you can easily incorporate into your everyday routine. You're not gonna have to think too hard about it, and it's just really great quality. I could not have an affordable eyeshadow palette video without mentioning the e.l.f. bite-sized palettes. These two are my personal favorites. I have Cream and Sugar and Pumpkin Pie. So these are also quads, but let me just hold it up compared to the Covergirl. You can see that it's a lot smaller than the Covergirl. So the Covergirl is more expensive, I believe, but you can see you get more product. The pan sizes are a lot bigger. The e.l.f., they're like $3 or $4. Sorry if I sound congested, I'm a little bit sick. So the e.l.f. are more affordable, but you don't get as much product. But if you are new to eyeshadow, you don't wanna invest too much, but you still want really great quality, these are an amazing place to start. If you're a teenager, if you're looking to buy makeup for your daughter, highly recommend the e.l.f. bite-size shadow palettes. I know that these have been talked about a lot, so I won't stay on these for too long, but I will say that the Cream and Sugar one is probably my favorite because I love this bright shimmer. This is more intense than some of my high-end shimmers. It's really gonna brighten up and open up your eyes. So if you really like a bright inner corner, if you like a bright shimmer shade, definitely check out Cream and Sugar because it's just so good. You get that high impact. It's super creamy. This deep brown is also really pigmented as well. And then if you like something a bit more warm tone, definitely check out Pumpkin Pie. You're not gonna get too much contrast with this palette. A lot of the tones are in the same family, a bit more mid-tone, but for an everyday look, if you just want like to swipe one shade on the lid, super easy, don't have to think about it too much. And again, the mattes are really pigmented, easy to blend out, and the shimmers are super smooth and look really reflective and beautiful on the lids. So definitely recommend the e.l.f. bite-sized palettes. One that shocked me was this little palette from LA Colors. This is a 7-pan palette, and I sort of picked this up on a whim. I was in Walmart one day just perusing the makeup aisles, and I think this was like $3 or something. So to be honest, my expectations were not set very high. I was just like, let me just try it. It looks pretty, it could be good. But oh my goodness, I was blown away. So for $3, this is amazing. The shadows are not super pigmented, but I actually like that for an everyday look. I can tend to be a little bit more heavy-handed with makeup, so sometimes if my shadows are too pigmented, I end up with something super smoky, which is not always what I want. So with this palette, I find it really easy to keep my look super soft and ethereal. So if you like something more soft and natural on the eyes, this is going to be perfect for you. The mattes are pigmented, they can be built up, and they're really easy to blend. Super smooth, not chalky, not dusty, not hard pan at all. They're really a joy to work with, and this matte ivory is really nice. A lot of times matte ivories are not opaque, they don't show up on the lids, but this one actually does. And this deep brown is really good too. I love using this as a shadow liner. The shimmers are really nice as well. Some of these are more of a topper, like this one here is more of a topper. I love it for an everyday look because it's not going to be super metallic or in your face. It's just that soft, ethereal, subtle shimmer, which I think is perfect for an everyday look. So if you are on a budget, or if you just don't really like eyeshadow that much, but you just want a little something, definitely check this one out because you really can't go wrong. It's $3 and the quality is really good. These little 9-pan palettes, the Keep It Playful eyeshadow palettes from LA Girl, are so underrated. I never hear anybody talking about these, and this color story in Downplay is so amazing. Look at this. The shimmer shades in this palette are next level, better than some of my high-end palettes. So reflective, so buttery, so smooth, so creamy, and just the tones of it in general are super unique. I don't see a lot of these taupey, leaning cool tone browns in affordable eyeshadow palettes. A lot of them are more warm or orangey or pink. I love these tones. They are perfect for a night out to just use on that occasional date night with the hubby. The mattes in this palette are amazing. Pigmented, smooth, buildable, never patchy. This black is super intense, one of the best in my entire collection. This white ivory bone color, super opaque. I've done cut creases with this. I've done all matte looks. I've done shimmer looks. It always looks great. I love the versatility in this though, because you can go more smoky and sultry, but you also just have these staple mattes for the perfect everyday eyeshadow look. Don't have to think too hard about it. They have a lot of other color stories. They have rosy ones, warm tone ones. So if this is not your vibe, definitely check out those other color stories because the quality in LA Girl eyeshadows is literally next level. It would not be an affordable eyeshadow palette video without mentioning Colourpop. Colourpop has so many amazing color stories. They do a lot of really fun color stories, but they also have some bomb neutral palettes. These ones are by no means hidden gems. I feel like they're pretty well known, but in case you didn't know, the Going Coconuts palette from Colourpop and the That's Taupe palette from Colourpop, some of the best quality neutral eyeshadow palettes you can find. So Going Coconuts is a little bit more on the neutral tone side, and That's Taupe is definitely more cool tone. They also have a warmer one called, I think it's called like Nude Mood. So if you really prefer warm tones, maybe check that one out. But personally, I love these two. Going Coconuts though, there's something next level about this formula. The mattes have a little bit more kick up than say the That's Taupe palette, but there's something so extra velvety and buttery and smooth. I love these mattes, and this shade, mine is out of order because I dropped it and there was a couple casualties. I think this is the correct shade, this Cocoa Crush. This shimmer makes the entire palette worth it. I mean, the other shades are beautiful and wonderful and perform perfectly as well, but this shade, it's the perfect neutral brown with a hint of rosiness to it. It's not overly pink or cool tone. There's something so unique about this shade. I am obsessed. Love this shade. Every time I put it on my eyes, I'm so happy with the way my makeup looks. It's an oldie but a goodie. There's a reason why it's been around for so long and so many people rave about it. If you like something more cool toned, definitely check out That's Taupe. These are super pigmented as well. Not as pigmented and like a little bit more hardly pressed than the Going Coconuts, but still really good, not hard to work with at all. I really like this shade down here. It's like a greenish dark brown, which is perfect for like a smoky eye, but you also get this really pretty shimmer shade called Slated. It's one of my favorites. Maybe you never really play with cool tones, but you want to start incorporating it in the new year. Try That's Taupe from Colourpop. I feel like this is a really great way to dip your toes into cool tones without going full on gray or black smoky eye. It's still pretty everyday appropriate. Again, you don't have to invest a lot of money to just see if you even like these sorts of tones on your eyes. Last but not least, I have to mention this Always Naked palette from Wet n Wild. Honestly, this was probably one of my most worn eyeshadow palettes of 2023. The shimmers in this palette are pretty, but honestly, it is the matte formula that truly shines and sets it apart in my collection. If you are just getting into eyeshadows and you really want everything you would need in an affordable eyeshadow palette, this one gives you the most variety because you have neutral tones, you have more cool tones. Like this shade is one of my favorites in the palette. It's more cool tone. This one is also one of my favorites to just pop in the crease. If you have a fair to light complexion, this is perfect because it's not too warm, it's not too cool, it's not too light, it's not too deep. It's just the most perfect transition shade. This one is perfect for that more cool tone transition shade that gives you a little bit more depth. You got some warmer tones in here. You got a deep smoky brown that goes almost black. These browns are similar, but they have a little bit more purple to them. You got some peachy tones. It's just every tone of brown that you would need for an everyday look you have in this palette, and the quality is amazing. Literally Patrick Ta ABH quality mattes here. You can pick up a lot on the brush, but again, it's really easy to blend out. Pigmented, but not choppy, not chalky. Velvety, smooth. Oh, it just feels like soft when you're putting your finger into it. I am obsessed with this palette. It does have a glitter, which I am personally not the biggest fan of, but it is really pretty. So if you like glitters or you're going to like a party or a rave, that's in there. Like I said, the shimmers are not where this palette shines, but they're not bad by any means. You don't get hard pan in them. And I like how you have, again, the different tones. You have a more rosy one, you got a little bit more of a warm one, you got a more neutral. So really, it's just a great everything all in one palette. Don't have to think about it too much, and it gives you that variety. So if you're starting out and you want to start experimenting with different tones, this is what I would recommend. One of my favorites, honestly. So those are all of my top favorite affordable neutral eyeshadow palettes. Let me know in the comments down below, what are some of your favorite affordable eyeshadow formulas? Neutral, non-neutral, colorful. I just love testing new affordable makeup, especially eyeshadows, because I feel like out of all of the drugstore makeup, eyeshadows are the hardest to find really great quality at an affordable price point. So I'd love to hear your guys' recommendations down below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.